Hey everyone, welcome back to Installation 00 and to the control room 4.0, I think now. Yeah, I'm in the new place. We had to move rather suddenly on the build up to Christmas. So things have been hugely chaotic for like 4 weeks solid, which has not been ideal, but that's not really the subject of today's video. Today's video is, well, partially to introduce you to the new place, and partially to kind of recap my recent trip out to Sao Paulo, Brazil, for CCXP23. Things have now kind of settled down here a little bit, so I've had the chance to breathe and to rest a little bit, and now I can recap things. I was approached by Ben Labs and Paramount Plus to fly out to Brazil to see what they had laid on for CCXP 2023, which is the biggest Comic-Con in the world. And by biggest, I mean the venue is huge. It took me like 8 minutes to walk between the Paramount booth and the Xbox booth, which were only a third of the way up in either direction from each end of the convention center. So it's huge. Like, you can actually see atmosphere. Like, when you're at one end and you look down the other way, you can see air, which is peculiar to be inside of a building and be able to see that. But also in attendance. Last year, I believe it was 280,000 people. And this year, I can fully believe that it was about the same. So in either case, I was invited out to basically see what was going on, and to go around their booth that was like dominated by 2/3 by Halo, and basically just pass my opinion on it, really. After scrambling to get myself sorted in amongst everything else going on, like with the move and everything else, I flew out and landed in Sao Paulo, Brazil early in the morning. It was like 5 AM local time when we touched down, and our hotel didn't allow check-in until like 2 o'clock, 2 in the afternoon. So we just had to kind of tread water, completely knackered, until it was time to check in, at which point I literally just went up to my room, had a shower, and just like got a bit of rest in the hotel bed. In preparation for that night, they had an exclusive VIP opening night, which is basically the opportunity for like VIPs and things like that to go in ahead of time before the crowds really get there and the event really kicks off, just to look around and get a feel for the place. There must have been a lot of VIPs, because there must have been between 3,000 and 5,000 people in attendance for just that. It was insane. In either case, I arrived suitably attired, as I always do, and had a look at the event. And the huge building, the Sao Paulo Expo, is a massive building, and had a little walk around and walked down to the Paramount booth, and had a look around at all the different things they had going on. But of course, my major focus was Halo. It was going to be, of course, it was going to be. The VIP night was really spent just kind of familiarising ourselves with the layout of the place and getting a feel for things. We got a little bit recorded, not a huge amount, because we were more focused in like having the guided tour around the booth and this, that, and the other. So not a huge amount of actual work, so to speak, took place on the first night. But in either case, it was a phenomenal opportunity to have a look around before like the huge amounts of crowds really got in there. Thursday was the first big day open. That was the second day. Thursday was the first open day for the crowds to arrive, and suitably, it was immensely busy. Myself and Simon spent basically most of that day getting lots of B-roll footage and images and things like that, just of the event and things going on in the event, and trying to get like footage of us going through like the activation process, because there's like a simulated combat thing that was at the activation, where you go in and you have like the Brazilian Cortana. I mean, we're in Brazil, it made sense to be the Brazilian Cortana, but of course, for an English person who speaks no Brazilian, just to stand there vacantly and listen to a Brazilian Cortana explain to me what the mission is. In either case, it was really good. So once you have the mission explained to you, you're armoured up. You're given like a body vest with like a laser tag receiver on it, and a helmet. You can either have a normal helmet, you can have a helmet with a phone mount on it, and actually mount your phone and record the process first person. As it was, we had a couple of cameras that we could record us doing stuff from different angles, and just gave a better kind of effect. But in either case, being able to record the process from first-person perspective is still pretty cool. You then go through to the next room where you do like a bit of selective target practice, and you're given the laser guns, which are hefty bits of kit. They're quite heavy. And then you're moved through again to an active combat zone, so to speak, where there are UNSC soldiers in there shooting back at you, and you score based on how many times you're hit and how many times you've managed to hit them. You get, once you finish and you complete and you go out the doors, you get a UNSC badge that's either normal, heroic, or legendary based on your performance. So we got a lot of footage of that, a lot of the footage of the attending staff members around the booth who are all dressed in like UNSC military garb, and it looked really good. And there were a few different cosplayers there, so it's a couple of different chiefs, and Kai was there as well, which is pretty cool. On Friday, which is kind of a second day of B-roll, things we missed the first day, or things that we thought about getting after starting to edit a few little like videos and shorts and things like that of like recaps for the VIP night and day one. Day two was kind of spent capturing more of that and getting anything that we feel like we missed. And I took the opportunity to wander the expo a little bit and have a look at some of the other booths, including the Xbox booth. So Saturday was the Thunder stage. So basically Paramount had a huge expo show, so to speak, going on the Thunder stage, which is like a separate stage from the rest of the convention centre. So we went in there, found our seats, and started watching the reveal trailers of some stuff they've got coming up. And then Pablo Schreiber and Joseph Morgan, being the Master Chief, and Colonel James Ackerson came up on the stage with Kiki Wolfkill and the show's new showrunner, David Weiner. He was there as well, and they started talking about season 2. Now, obviously, for people who have had their ear to the ground and kind of been semi-aware of what's been going on with the Halo TV series 2, or season 2 rather, they're aware that production kind of wrapped fully in September, and they went into kind of post. So there must have been a lot of work going on. I mean, there's been talk that perhaps they finished earlier on in the year, but then went back into production to finish again in September. I can't lend any credibility to that. Yeah, they started talking about what they had planned, so to speak, and what they'd been up to, and then we got the teaser reveal, which I put a first-hand raw reaction to the teaser, and I've got to admit the tone, the grittiness, the heroicism, and the hopelessness almost of the Fall of Reach looks spectacular this time around. They've really nailed that gritty tone that Halo is known for. They've really hit the right tone. Seeing that on a huge screen for the first time was a hell of a moment. Seriously, it was breathtaking to be able to sit there with a screen that large. Seeing Halo on a screen that large there's something just something about it. Something about seeing an IP franchise that I'm really passionate about, that I really love, on the silver screen is just it's a phenomenal moment, especially with how the teaser itself was pitched, and the iconography and the visual style and the gritty nature of the season 2 teaser was just bang on point. I really liked the kind of direction, the tone that it was setting, and I truly hope that tone continues through all of season 2. Based on the panel and the conversation that was being had, Pablo, David, Kiki, and Joseph were all saying that this is a much darker story, a much more desperate story, much grittier, and much more focused on the consequences of war, which is exactly what you'd want for the Fall of Reach. So fingers crossed, if they can nail that same grittiness, that tone, that dark feeling that they put in the teaser all the way through the season, that's going to be spectacular, truly spectacular. The Thunder stage, and there was supposed to be a little bit of a thing afterwards as well, where we'd get the opportunity to actually meet up with Pablo and Joseph and Kiki and David, but unfortunately that we just couldn't quite get it to work. There were so many people at this event, and it was like people were genuinely really excited. I'm just like ridiculously excited. There was one woman in the Thunder stage who was moved to tears with the fact that Joseph Morgan was there. And yeah, the response that people were having to the panel, to Halo, and to the actors was really powerful, really passionate response. And it was so passionate, I think, that they were concerned about security, because they'd have to get the actors from the Thunder stage actually through the convention center where everyone is, particularly past like the omelette stage, which is like a kind of a second stage that they would go to after. Whenever they had any panels on the omelette stage, there were thousands of people crowded around that area, and I think they were concerned of getting the actors through to where the Paramount booth was. Just didn't quite work out. It's fine, I get it. Like I say, that seeing that level of passion from the community to the point that they thought, maybe this isn't a good idea, is actually kind of cool. It's actually kind of a nice thing to see. Yeah, that was Saturday, sort of a line drawn under Saturday. Sunday was really just spent editing. I spent a couple of hours at the event before I eventually had to leave to catch my flight back here to the UK. Yeah, it was just a whirlwind of a journey. To kind of recap it in general terms, what we're seeing in the season 2 teaser is immensely reassuring. It's got that grittiness, that desperation, that heroicism that we've come to expect from Halo. If, again, I've said it a couple of times, if they can draw that out, if they can make that grittiness, that dark tone, that desperation, that heroicism, everything that we're so familiar with for Halo, if they can draw that out through the entirety of season 2, seriously, I think we're onto a winner if that can happen. It's a hell of a teaser. Seeing that on the big screen was just, it was something else. And I think along with the fact that the crowd were so charged up, where they were so excited and so passionate and so engaged, you get carried away with it. You get carried on this wave of hype, and it was awesome just seeing the season 2 teaser on that kind of a screen. I'm going to be carrying with me for a long time to come. Like I said, I have a huge breakdown of the teaser frame by frame coming up, because there's a few things in there that I think people are missing that I want to highlight, and I haven't seen many people saying anything about these particular things I've noticed yet. But in either case, I definitely think I can speak for everyone who was present there at CCXP23 that they were hyped for season 2 and the look of the teaser. I'm loving what I'm seeing in regards to season 2. The response I'm seeing across all of social media to the teaser is immensely positive, and I think it's this way because of what tone this teaser struck. It highlighted the gritty nature of Halo that we're so fond of. It's at a pivotal time in the timeline of the lore, so to speak, being the fall of Reach. The visual style, the scope and scale are befitting to the immense space opera of Halo. We see moments of sacrifice, moments of desperation, of hope, of heroics, of all the things that we've come to define as being Halo. We see the Chief body blocking a Marine to protect him from fire. We see the huge Covenant armada rising from the clouds, and some brief glimpses of what looks to be an Arbiter. During the omelette stage discussion at CCXP, Pablo Schreiber, the showrunner David Weiner, said the tone of this season is much darker, much grittier, exploring the effects of war, and that it's driving towards where fans want the series to go. It's with that I take some degree of hope that they listened, more than perhaps we noticed, to what people were saying about season 1. I don't know. I can't say for certainty. With Pablo Schreiber now being executive producer, David Weiner as the showrunner with his extensive experience from immensely popular shows of similar caliber, Joseph Morgan, an extremely talented actor as Colonel James Ackerson, and him having grown up playing Halo, he said this himself, everything seems to be pointing towards Season 2 being a massive step up in the show's game. All in all, here is my genuine take on Halo at the moment. I enjoyed Season 1. It had some teething issues, and a few points which didn't make a huge amount of sense even to me, but on the whole, I really enjoyed it. Season 2 looks to be a completely different beast altogether. As Halo fans, we do all just really want the best for Halo. That's really what it all boils down to. We're passionate about this franchise, and we want it to do well. Well, Infinite is in a fantastic place right now. MCC is also in a fantastic place right now, and I have absolute confidence, based on what we're seeing for the teaser in Halo Season 2, that come February, Halo the series will also be in a fantastic place. And that can only bode well for the entire franchise, forcing Halo back up into the top rankings and out into the public eye as a powerful cult presence for the first time in over a decade. I truly believe, based on what I've seen, that some seriously awesome things lay ahead of us, and I for one can't wait for it to get here. Thanks again to Paramount Plus for flying me out to Sao Paulo, Brazil, and basically giving me free reign of the Paramount booth to wander around and to explore as I saw fit, and to see the teaser as a global debut on a screen that large was just breathtaking. So thanks again to Paramount Plus. It was truly an honour to be able to see Halo received so positively by so many in that kind of a venue. Truly like a moment I'm going to be taking with me for a long time to come. So thanks again to Paramount Plus. Thanks to all of you for watching, and until next time. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, consider smashing the like button and leave a comment below on what you'd like me to cover next. Big shout out to my patrons, Spartan10148, the Metarch of my installation, Falcon, Prophet Bear, Mikhail, Sophia, and Ashley, my dutiful monitors, Darian, Scarab, Spartan0137, Anthony, Ghost, Aaron, Chris, Jacob, Sean, Element Zero, Somatic, Jordan J3, Dan, Mr. Keys, Directal, Gunslinger, Jacob, Bandmill, Echo, Evermore, Officer Cat, and Personal Devil, my diligent sub-monitors, my fleet of Strato Sentinels, and my loyal enforcers. And all the other patrons who have jumped aboard to support the channel. It means more to me than I can accurately put into words. Another shout out to my Tier 0 Transcendent YouTube members, Spartan137, Jacob, Schmitty, Talia, Fenrir and Born Stella, and all the other YouTube members keeping my installation running on that glorious vacuum energy. Shout out to John for I don't fucking know. And if you want more of this kind of content, hit the subscribe button and the little bell icon so you don't miss any future videos, and consider jumping aboard yourself as a patron or YouTube member to keep the channel alive and kicking. Thanks again for watching. Take it easy everyone, and find peace in the domain.